Hi, welcome to Room to Grieve podcast. We're your hosts, Karen and Bec. Grab yourself a cuppa, find a comfortable spot, and we'll journey through grief together.
Hello. Good evening.
I know, that was a very cheery hello from me, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? What's happened to Winnie? What have you done to Winnie? Where is she?
She's here, don't worry.
Oh, God.
Don't worry, you'll get her throughout this episode, I'm sure.
Oh, God, what a week.
I was going to say, how are you feeling? I know that...
Well,
it's just coming at you from all angles, isn't it, at the minute?
it is, yeah, but it's all right. I'm Wonder Woman. I'm dealing with it.
You know what? That genuinely worries me. Like...
Oh, God, don't you go on. You're analysing me now because you've finished all your therapy.
Yeah.
Starting on me.
No, I am just really concerned. I feel like you watching me sort of 6 months ago in that you... And I can't... I'm reveling in saying this, but you have no balance. Like, you are not... And I get it because I couldn't do it myself. It's really hard to balance things when life is as hectic as yours are and everything is coming at you. But I do just worry that you're taking everything on. There is so much that you are dealing with. And I just worry that at some point you're going to have to crash because it's a lot.
I feel that I do have balance.
Okay.
Where do you think I don't have balance to see if I'm missing something?
I don't think it's a conscious decision that you're making not to have balance. I just think life's being so fucking hard at you that where are you finding the time for the shitstorm to stop hitting you? Like,
well, when I've finished at night, so do a full day at work.
But then you're exhausted emotionally, mentally. Like, you're not actually taking any time out of it.
I think I'm physically exhausted.
Yeah, you're just kind of coming home and having to go to bed because it's just so much. It's like, but it's not actually stopping for you. You're just going to bed and waking and not particularly sleeping and then getting up and it's continuing, right? Like, you're not actually having any time out of any of it, are you? Because life's not allowing you to.
No, life isn't allowing me to, but I think why I'm not worried is that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
In a few weeks' time, I know I'm going to be retired.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking, oh my God, what's she going to do in a few weeks? All these emotions are going to come running at me.
Oh no, you'll just go fucking paint.
Yeah, see, I've already planned. I'm not only painting, I'm looking at houses to do up as well. Because we moved.
Oh God, take on more.
So original thing was we're moving to a very small house, just as a base, and then decide where we want to live, what we want to do. Yeah? Because there's no way I won't be able to not do anything.
Yeah.
That isn't happening. I'm not going to start playing golf or buy a dog or anything like that.
No.
So I just know that I'm going to be okay because I've got so many ideas in my head on top of everything else that's in my head. And I want to get to them ideas and everything's stopping me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be okay. I am going to be okay.
Good.
And today I was sat there and my screensaver of Emily looked at a picture and I cried. I did cry, so I am letting it out. I'm stroking a picture. That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're missing somebody. It's normal. If I want to stroke my daughter's face on a picture on my screen, it moves. It's annoying though. And that's so be it. That's what I've got to do.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to tell you something. This 2-year thing is so true. I know we spoke about it very, very briefly last week, but I've been doing an experiment when people come into reception and telling everybody that I've said 2 years, nothing.
Honestly, the reaction is so different, isn't it?
Not even, when they do that with the head.
The pity, yeah.
The pity head. Not even that. And I'm looking, think, why ain't your head going on one side?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. So, I had a meeting at work today with 30 odd new people that I've never met before, all live around the country, an online meeting to meet this whole new team. And you had to tell them about you. And I was like, yeah, so my son died. No reaction, not from one person online, not from one person. That's 30 to 40 brand new faces. Nothing.
No, nothing. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's like you wouldn't imagine that it could make such a difference on the time scale.
Yeah, it feels just the same.
Just the same. We say this week in, week out, and
But
well,
on the flip side of that, how do we educate? Because I said in last week's episode that I really tried to talk to the person at work that I spoke to.
Yeah.
And it was just going nowhere.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
I don't know.
I mean, did you try with these people? Was there anything that you could do to make an impact?
No.
I
only tried with about 3 or 4, and then I realised I was wasting my time. Absolute wasting my time. And just ended up with everybody telling me their problems, which seems to happen to me. But most of it because my Lynn, who I've been friends with for well over 30 years, I can't even think how long, and worked together, and she's worked for us for over 20 years. She's in hospital, back in hospital, and her cancer is back, and we're all in turmoil at the moment because of that.
Yeah.
And they're telling her she's okay. And then saying, but we're baffled. Well, so she's not okay. Make your mind up. And it's like when you right at the beginning, they told you, didn't they, that we only drip feed information to see what people can tolerate, what they can cope with, deal with as a family, and they withhold things. I think they're withholding things from her.
They said most people, be it subconsciously, choose not to know, and therefore we don't tell people what they need to know until they need to know, because they said that there's just no point in telling them. It makes people highly emotional and harder to deal with. And they said that I was quite an anomaly and quite unusual in that I wanted and needed to know everything. And they said that that isn't the case for 90% of people. And so they've been trained not to do that.
Right. What annoys me is that, so she's sat in a hospital bed now. She went to A&E again yesterday morning. Last time she was 48 hours sat on a rock hard chair until she got a bed in a corridor. So at least she was a little bit quicker, and she got out of A&E and was put in a day ward or something. And then she was moved from that ward, and now she's waiting. And it'd probably be about 11:30 tonight. She might go to respiratory ward. So it's probably like by tomorrow it'll be a 3rd day waiting.
Yeah.
She's still not had a lung drained, which has got approximately 1.5 litres of fluid in it. And still said, oh yeah, we've had discussions, we have concerns, and but you're still baffling us. Well, send her somewhere that's not going to baffle them.
Yeah.
Send her to Christie's. Anyway, I don't know why I've got onto this conversation once again. Just why did I start talking about Lynn? Oh, it was because I was telling a customer, that's why. And so a customer was having a bad day, and he was complaining this, that, and the other because his radio wasn't working and things like that. Couldn't get the sound right.
Third world problems and all that.
Yeah, and so I told him about Lynn, and he's known Lynn for 15 years. Started telling me about all his problems, and I felt like screaming. I felt like saying, "Have you
shaking
heard?"
him?
Shaking him. And I just said, and I thought, perhaps he doesn't know about Emily. And I said, well, obviously it's all very raw for us because we're coming up to the 2-year anniversary. We lost our daughter. And he said, yeah, I know. And I thought, you know, and you're still talking like this to me.
in his mind, he thinks that that puts you in a place to understand how he feels with his trivial shit, I think.
I don't know. It was like, you've known Lynn. She's picked you up and took you back when you've had work done. And you're moaning that you've now got to get here on your own steam. And I'm like, don't believe this. I really don't believe this.
What happened to the world? But
I don't know what happened to the world, and I don't know how you would explain, other than starting young and starting in schools and teaching it to young that can then go through and pass it on. Because I think we need to give up on older people. I think people are that bloody selfish and self-absorbed and don't want to know. That's the way it's always dealt with. You don't talk about death. I don't want to know. I'm not going to change. So it's the younger people that we have to try and change, try and get it across. And it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not what I wanted to come on and talk about.
What did you want to talk about?
I was just thinking about how we both approach our anniversaries differently. We talk about how unique everybody's loss is. Even ours, like we're two very similar families, both been through the same shit, and yet even we grieve so differently, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And even today in our house, there's been differences here in what's gone on the last week in our house, which is really weird and actually quite unusual for me, I think. I've surprised myself in how I've responded. Simon got up this afternoon, because he works nights, and he was like, really hard day today, isn't it? And me being me was like, why? And he was like, don't you know what today is? And I'm thinking, what the fuck is today?
Was it the funeral?
Yeah. And I hadn't realised.
You're turning into me.
I know. And that's exactly what the first thought that came into my head was, oh my fucking God, I'm turning into Karen.
Wow. Because I would never know that. I don't know Emily's date, so I wouldn't know Bradley's funeral date. I wouldn't. I only know his death day because it's the 1st of the month.
Yeah.
1st of June.
Yeah. But yeah. And Simon's been impossible to live with this week.
Oh my God.
And it's obviously just been building on his mind. And now I sit here. I mean, this only happened about an hour ago. So now I'm really questioning myself, thinking, God, this is really shit. But I did nearly text you this afternoon. And I thought, oh no, I'll save it and we can talk about it on the pod tonight. Because I thought, if we talk about it all this afternoon, then I'll just be repeating myself. But I was making my jacket potato at lunchtime. And as I was getting it out of the microwave, I kind of thought to myself, I feel really sad. Like a deep, embedded sadness. And my first split thought that came through my mind was, why do I feel so gut-wrenchingly sad? Because I hadn't been thinking about, I was in the middle of working. I was just, making some lunch whilst working. I wasn't thinking about Bradley or, reminiscing particularly. And so when I just suddenly stopped to, wait for the microwave to ping and I've got 30 seconds, all I could think was, I feel so sad. And my first thought was, why? And then I was like, why do you think, you fucking idiot? And then I felt bad because I hadn't been thinking about Bradley, and then because, I had to question why I felt so sad. But then I thought, well, actually, isn't that like a confirmation that it's okay that I'm not actively thinking about him all of the time? Because I'm just reminding myself that even though I am actively functioning and not thinking, I haven't forgotten, because when I actually stop, all I feel is sadness. And then when Simon came and said, oh God, it's the 12th today, I thought maybe my body does know.
Yeah. Well, it usually does.
Yeah, maybe.
Your body is has an internal calendar.
Yeah, and I went to bed last night and I texted my dad, and my dad was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I feel really ill, but I can't tell you why. I just don't feel very well. I was like, all of my shoulders really hurt. I feel really fluey. I just don't understand. I feel ill. And then my dad texted me this morning and said, do you feel any better? And I was like, I don't feel any worse, but I can't particularly tell you I'm poorly. I just feel achy and fluey. And now it all just makes complete sense. But I hadn't put any of this together until about an hour ago, till Simon said to me, you've not got any idea what the day is? And I was like, no.
Oh, God.
But isn't it funny how...
Yeah, but I see that as a positive.
So did I, but in the same breath, it's unusual for me because, it's unusual for me, yeah. So then it feels kind of off. So then it's like, am I supposed to be proud of myself or upset with myself?
Yeah. Not saying you don't need to analyse it any further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move on to the next thing. Don't overanalyze that.
But anyway, this was about how you do this differently to me. You just reminded me. But yeah.
No, it's a really good point, that. It's just, I was just thinking, I went on ChatGPT to see.
You love that. Do you know what? I actually wish I'd never shown you what that is, because now I don't know if I'm talking. I mean, you might as well give your AI man a name. I don't even know if I'm talking to you or fucking ChatGPT.
No, I don't use it that often because I forgot within 3 seconds. I have to have it written down. I can't remember longer than a minute. I'm like a goldfish. You just but it just by talking about the upcoming anniversary, just talking about it, talking about Emily, talking about nice things, talking about even the sad things, I think that helps. I really, really do think it helps. I mean, it's hard. Some of the conversations are hard. We talked about the trauma last week, and even after talking about that, I felt better because you reminded me that the brain will go back to the trauma that I dealt with. That's why it's on loop. That's why it's coming back. And soon as I got that into my head, I've been so much better.
Yeah.
I've not been waking up with that anxiety. When I get anxiety, it's like I'm having a hot flush. I just get really, really hot and agitated, and it can come from nowhere. And I'm not saying it's completely gone, but it is a lot better.
Good.
And
I mean, it's not going to completely go ever, really, to be fair.
No.
And, you're still 2 weeks out from the date, aren't you? So, you've still got a lot that's building, and there's a lot of horrible things that happened in the next 2 weeks that even subconsciously,
Yeah, I'm not going to bring them forward now. I'm not going to try and talk about those. I'm going to just try and be as positive as I can.
Yeah.
Just because of everything else as well that's going on. Lynn's our priority at the moment, and once we get Lynn sorted, then we've got good things happening. We've got easier things. Our lives should be easier. And they're still going to be busy. They're still going to be full, because we always will be.
Yeah.
But they'll be busy doing things we want to do.
Yeah.
Things that we enjoy. Because we do enjoy. We enjoy building. I enjoy tiling, plastering, painting, decorating, you name it. And I'll be doing things that I enjoy. And I will do them until I'm physically exhausted and mentally exhausted. But that's what I've always done. So I'm not going to change.
No.
But I was going back to ChatGPT. So I just thought I'd have a look as to see if there's anything I could do more to help me through these next few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's normal for grief to resurface around the anniversaries. What a load of bullshit is there constantly.
I was about to say that, as opposed to, the rest of the year when you just don't think about it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So give yourself permission to feel whatever arises: sadness, anger, longing, even numbness. Again, that's every day. You don't need an anniversary for that.
No.
Talk about it. There you go. Knew I was right. I was right. Share your feelings with someone you trust. a friend, a family member, a support group, or a therapist? Well, we won't go down the therapist line again.
No.
Sometimes just saying this is a hard day for me can ease the burden. I could say this is a hard day for me and kick something. That would ease the burden a little bit more. So yesterday I spilled a full glass of Ribena. I spilled everything yesterday. It's one of them days. Do you get them dropsy days where everything you do just goes wrong? So I spilled, and I don't mean that it's a big mug that I have at the office, so I don't have to get up as many times of my Ribena. And it spilled. It went over my phone, my laptop, and a big stack of filters that we have, oil filters for cars.
You just had a bad day yesterday. Your first message you sent me was just a catastrophe of shit go wrong. I was like,
what was the first one? I can't even remember it now. Even before I'd got downstairs. Oh, that's what it was. Was it the hair oil?
Yes. So
I had a shower and I put the wrong hair oil on. My hair's still greasy now and I've washed it twice since. I thought, what's the hair? Why got my hair dry? And it's like, oh my God, what were you? So it was running out of time then because I needed to be in the office at 7:45, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go out looking like this more.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, so all these, I had to get them all out of the packaging, all these filters. There were boxes and filters everywhere, all drying out, all red. Well, one of the mechanics come and he said, why is this red? I went, don't ask, just go and fix it. But right, okay. So yeah, everything just goes wrong. So yeah, just admitting you're having a bad day, that doesn't cut it really.
I think it helps Simon, sometimes for him to say to me, I'm just having a really bad day, and me to validate that.
Yeah.
Because he got up this afternoon, like I said, and was in a right fucking arse. And then he went for a shower and Zachary came home from golf and I was like, your dad's in the right arse, just leave him alone. And he was like, any particular reason? I was like, no. And at that point, I was like, no. I was like, he's just woke up in the right strop. And then Simon came down and said about it being the 12th, and he was like, I'm really struggling today. And instantly then just
felt better.
Yeah, he was actually
so talking. So he talked about it.
Because... Yeah, and he's given himself permission and asked for that validation to say, I'm having a bad day. Honestly, it made a huge difference for him.
Yeah. See, we probably just take it for granted because if we need to talk, we'll have a text or phone, and we talk about it without even realizing we're doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas for him, he has to come down and physically make himself say it.
Could you imagine if we didn't have each other?
No, I think I'd have murdered somebody by now.
Because who would we say these things to?
I know. Take the day off. That's a laugh, innit? If possible, lighten your schedule.
Day off for what? I mean, what about, mothering and, housewife shit and how do you take the day off?
Yeah. Tell your kids, right, get into the car, can't look after you today. Husband, you're not getting any tea.
Yeah.
And vice versa with, men, that you can't just have a day off.
Life just doesn't stop, does it?
No. Practice mindfulness or grounding. Simple breathing exercises or focusing on physical sensations can help regulate emotions. I mean, you can't just say, that's a load of rubbish until you try it. And if I had time to try it, I probably would.
Do you know, I was just about to say that, and I do think that there is a lot in that does actually work. But for me, trying to fit it into my day creates me stress. Yes. So then I'm doubly stressed by the time I get to it. It's it doesn't really work for me because I don't have enough time for
it. Do something that brings you comfort. Listen to music, watch a comforting show, journal, walk in nature, whatever soothes you. That's right. You could go for a walk. We have always said loads of times that going for a walk makes you feel better. Yeah. And watching something on the
Mind-numbingly
TV
boring.
that's you don't have to, it's not going to trigger you. Don't go and watch Lassie Come Home or anything like that.
Yeah. Or anything that involves you really concentrating on what's happening on the plot. You know, you can miss a whole 2 hours of it and still then know what's happened.
Yeah, that's what you need to. Yeah, so we know all that really. And if you don't feel intense emotions, that's okay too. It doesn't mean you've forgotten or don't care. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go. Honor their legacy by living fully. Reflect on how their life impacted yours. Well, we do that every day.
Yeah, that's very important for
Do
us,
that
isn't it?
every single day. It's the best 16 years of my life.
Yeah.
Doing something meaningful in their honor. We do that every day, don't we?
Yeah.
So it didn't teach me anything, but the time when I put that in this morning and I read it through, it slowed me down. I stopped doing what I was doing. I took 5 minutes out for myself to read that and have a little think about it. And it doesn't matter what I agree with or don't agree with. It made me stop and think.
Yeah.
And then I carried on with my day. Then I went and spilt something else. and I've still got anger. Got loads of anger. And I don't want to have the anger. Not because of the grief thing. I'm sick of moaning. I don't like myself moaning.
I wouldn't say you've been moaning.
I just feel like I'm always moaning. And
not
I'm
at
never,
all.
Really? Because I'm never satisfied. So come home. So my bone idle son is obviously back from his holiday and back to full bone idleness.
He's been poorly.
Yeah, he has been poorly, but it's pissing me off now, the poorliness. So all I asked him to do was mow the lawns. He missed more than he's done. And he was
I did see his lawn mowing last time round, and I thought he'd gone for stripes. I hadn't realised that, from a distance, it looked like he'd gone for coloured stripes. Then when you get up near and realise that actually he's just missed. Like, I mean, he's never going to make it on Clarkson's farm, is he? Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell. I was like, how do you not see that you've missed?
So we get home, and he's supposed to have made a salad for tea. That's not stressing, is it? Mow lawn and make salad for tea. Because he's making salad for his lunch. So we hadn't done that. And then all his pots were in a big pile, not been put in the dishwasher. I thought, is the dishwasher full? Was it on? So I opened it, and it was empty. There's only one thing in it. So, this anger's bubbling up. Yeah. And then Rob says, he shouted him down. He said, did the lawnmower run out of petrol? I went, no. All right. When you're finishing it then. So then there's a big row, and I don't want to be coming home after working like 9 hours to a row.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to be doing that.
Well, even without the working long hours, you don't want to be rowing with your son, do you?
No, I don't want to be rowing at Morrison's with my shit chicken. I wanted something healthy for my lunch. I don't have a pie, so I got a salad, and then you put all your little things in the salad, and then you put your lid on, and it never goes down properly, probably because you've got to cram that much in to get your money's worth. You have to really put it down. But the things never go down properly, so I'm trying not to let that all spill everywhere. And then I get a big tasty hot cooked chicken, which stink, by the way. It always smells like you're trumped when people are behind you when you're paying for it. I have to keep saying, it's not me, it's the chicken. So it smells,
yeah, but I'm going to eat that.
Yeah. You don't smell it when you're eating it. Anyway, it was a big tasty one, right? It weren't big and it weren't tasty. It was chewy. It was inedible.
Oh.
Yeah, it was absolutely inedible. And I didn't have the time. I should have took it back. So then I'm mad at myself for not complaining and just put it in the bin. So I'm starving, and then you just make the wrong decisions then when you get home because you're that bloody hungry because you've eaten nothing.
Yeah.
Like 6 packets of Walkers. Rob got to tell Chris one after the other. I only stopped eating because, well, one, the the pack of sixes run out, but also because I got 6 ulcers by the time I had. But so just disappoint. Everything's disappointing. You feel like you're let down by everybody and everything, and I don't want to moan. I just want to be gone from all that. And
well, I honestly would not put you down as moaning. You're
right,
quite,
okay,
you're quite the opposite. You're quite, and it's what I think what I was alluding to at the beginning of the podcast. Like, I'm just worried in that you know, I know how much you've got going on. And for me, I know that I would be drowning in that a little bit and I'd be like super overwhelmed with it all. Yet I think you're really upbeat and positive and just like,
no, right, okay.
you know, really kind of, you know, and it just worries me because I just think that I wouldn't be able to do that. But, you know, if you can, fucking fair play.
I ain't got time to fall in a pit.
Yeah.
I haven't. I can't.
I know, but I just worry that sometimes when we don't have time to fall in the pit, sometimes our bodies just make us say, well, fucking, I'm going to make you stop and fall in the pit.
I know. No, I'll be all right. I promise I'll be okay.
But yeah, you definitely have not been moaning.
Apparently.
I would feel happier if you had.
All right, okay, I'll moan a bit.
Yeah.
I came out of the chemist because long story short, doctors hadn't ordered a prescription for my husband. I'd been to the pharmacy. I'd tried to get through to the doctors on 3 occasions. So I did a total of like 4 hours in a queue on the phone in total. I wrote it all down. Like, there, writing this down. So in the end, I drove to the doctors.
Oh.
I'm there. Hello. I thought, do you know I'm a grieving mother? No, I didn't say that. I wanted to. And I was so nice. And she went, oh, yeah, I can see what she's done. She's changed the amount of prescription, but then she's not ordered it. My husband run out of tablets. I've been trying to get through to you for 3 days. And when we'll do our best. Will it be today? Oh, no, it takes 48 hours for a prescription to go through. I said, yeah, but I've already put the prescription in 5 working days ago.
Yeah.
7 days in total. So it's not my fault that you haven't done this prescription. She went, yeah, but that's what our rules are. I went, yeah, well, you've already broke the rules.
Yeah.
You know, you're the one that's made the mistake. So these tablets, he's not supposed to stop. So, well, there's nothing else we can do.
There's plenty you can do.
So I just walked away.
Yeah.
So I did. I rang the pharmacy. No, they still didn't do it. It still took 2 days. And it's everything.
Yeah.
It's absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a lady whose son's is in his 50s. She's in her 80s, and her son had a stroke, and she's his full-time carer now. And she said, and I was talking to her about the podcast, and I said to watch the one with the American lady whose son has the Prader-Willi syndrome, and I just said, you're living with losses, and she went, I am. She said, I've never ever seen it like that. She said, he's lost his life. She said, but I have as well. And she said, and I'm really, really struggling. And she said, I've never acknowledged that before. And I said, well, you are. I said, your life has changed. And she said, you know, I'm even struggling to lift him and the just the day-to-day things.
Can you imagine?
So it's, you know, and everybody's the same. I'm not just saying there's only me that feels let down and angry and everything, but it's just hard, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, everything's just... I'm trying really hard to be mindful of balance and stuff, and I'm trying just to be grateful. Just be grateful for what is, and it goes against everything I've ever done in my whole entire life. I've always strived and wanted more and always felt like it was never enough, you know, like I was never enough. My life was never enough. I always needed that next thing. I just needed something bigger, something better. I don't even really know what for. I don't even really know quite where the level of success, reaches its pinnacle. I don't really know. But, there's always something more, something better. And I've decided that actually what's wrong with
what you've got.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll try and be like that then. You can give me some guidelines.
Well, it literally is just, at the minute, okay, it's this. And what's going wrong? Nothing. What's bad, aside from the obvious? Nothing. Okay.
Right.
And it's as boring as that.
Well, I've got to do something because the anger and the letdown is getting to me.
Yeah.
So I've got to do something.
That's what I was about to say. The only thing I can say that it's making any massive difference with is I don't feel overwhelmed with a flood of emotions.
Right.
Like that anger, that frustration, that the sadness. I just don't feel a flood of emotions. I feel like I'm just giving myself more space to just
right.
I feel like I'm not overwhelming myself so much.
Right.
How long I can sit with this before I get bored, I don't know.
You've got to try, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to be a slightly different person and just be a little bit more slower.
Right. I'll try that. I will take your advice. I will try that. On a lighter note.
Yeah.
With you all in black and the black thing, it does just look like a head floating.
It's got to be slimming there, right?
Yeah, you do. You do look slimmer. You very much.
Because I'm not.
Well, you do look it.
I'll wear black more often.
Do you remember that TV program? Can't remember what it was. Numberjacks, and they had that head floating on the screen. Did kids ever watch Numberjacks?
Maybe. Did they have numbers with little smiley faces in them?
Yeah. And then they had this bald-headed guy with this round head. Not saying you're bald, but floating around the screen like that. Used to freak me out. Like I said, turn this off. I hate it. With your big googly eyes.
Yeah. It's like chroma keying, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another thing I can do. Taught myself to do that many moons ago. Don't ask me why. Went on a course in Manchester about 20 years ago to learn how to chroma key.
Right, okay.
Weird, isn't it?
How long did you waste on that?
A whole week. I paid thousands and thousands of pounds to go on a week-long course in Manchester to learn how to chroma key, and I have never, ever done a single thing with it. Just wanted to learn how to do it.
Right, well, we're probably going to get messages now asking what that means. And when you answer it, I'll read it because I've got a clue what you're talking about.
You know what?
You're not going to tell me, are you?
You know what it means is,
right?
When the weather woman stands in front of the map.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't actually stand in front of a map. They stand in front of a green screen, and then the map superimposed on. That's chroma keying.
Right. Okay. God, that was a quick explanation for you. That.
Yeah.
Getting good.
I am. I am getting sick to death of editing myself out, repeating myself. So, I'm helping my future self.
And you're not whiny as well. Because my husband actually said the other day, but this is how myself and Lynn deal with things. We use humour. Did it with Emily. We do it. And that's just the way I deal with things. Now, people might not always get it. But she's a bit wheezy. She's carrying like 2 litres of fluid on her lungs and she's struggling with her breath. So Rob actually says, I've got 3 women in my life. I've got witty, whiny and now wheezy. So she wants to join in.
Yeah, bless her.
But also, so we was talking about Bradley's bench that, she loved his bench. And I said, we could get you a bench. So right, okay. Yeah, so I said, we could get you a bench. We could put it in reception. and people can come and say, and I said, and she said, oh, will it have my name on? Like Bradley said, no. I said, we'll just have a plaque on yours just in case you don't die, they can get me money back. And she laughed that much that I thought she was going to not get a breath and I'd be ringing for a bloody ambulance. So I've toned it down a bit.
No, but it's nice that she can have that space and, time out.
I told her not to come into work, but she keeps coming in. So I'm doing something right.
Exactly.
We cheer each other up.
Yeah, exactly. You need that sometimes, don't you?
Yeah. So I gave her a little angel of hope, a fairy of hope, and I gave her one of Emily's stones, her crystals. I gave her jasper for healing and said, you have to keep that in your pocket, and she has. So.
Well, I really hope that she gets to see the doctors today. And if not, that she gets to see them tomorrow morning. And I really hope that it's all positive news. I mean, we can only hope that the fact that they've made her wait 3 weeks to be told anything of importance means that they're not worried, right? So
I'm not saying anything about her care. It's disgusting. So we'll move on.
I can't say I'm surprised because what we experienced wasn't any different. But then Bradley was in the adult care sector too. I mean, thankfully, Emily was in the child care sector, and your experience was worlds apart, as it should be. But adult care has got a lot more broken than the paediatrics, and even that's not brilliant. So
no.
But we're not here to be political, are we?
No, we're definitely not. So what have you got on for the rest of the week?
It's Father's Day this weekend, isn't it? So maybe that's part and parcel of why Simon's feeling a little bit awkward too. And the kids obviously notice it because like Mother's Day comes and, my kids were lovely, don't get me wrong. One bought me a beautiful candle and Sydney loves making bread. She made me some sourdough and she bought me some flowers. Beautiful. But like they don't have to put a lot of thought into it. I'm more than happy with a fucking loaf of bread and a bunch of flowers. Whereas, Father's Day for Simon, I've had 1,000 messages off the kids all panicking, about buying Dad the right thing and then, worried about Dad's reaction and they've got to get it right for him. And, and I hate that they're under that amount of pressure that, they know he doesn't cope and they feel like they have to justify that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I'm hoping that the weekend will go okay. But Simon's playing golf with Zachary tomorrow. Then Saturday, we're having a barbecue because it's supposed to be about 27 degrees around here.
Oh, nice.
And then Sunday, they're doing 18 holes. So they'll be out all day again playing golf Sunday. So, and you just think, fucking fair play. Like, best place for him. Stick him on a fucking golf course.
Yeah.
With his friends and with Zachary. And it, A, gets him out of my way. B, it doesn't give him time to think. Like it keeps him busy, but it just means that, I don't really get a great weekend, but the alternative is I sit with him moping, right? So I guess.
You're looking at the positive.
Yeah. So that I don't really have a great deal planned because nobody will really be here. Morgan will be around, I'm sure. And so we'll probably just do some housework.
Yeah.
Finish off decorating that cupboard that I nearly smashed up the other week. And sorting stuff like that, really. What about you?
Yeah.
You'd forgotten it was Father's Day, hadn't you?
No, not bothering with Father's Day. I did buy a few weeks ago. I got the date wrong, like I do sometimes, and I thought it was Father's Day. Don't know what day it was. So I went and bought a bottle of whiskey and I said to Niall, I'll give this your dad, it's Father's Day. And he said, it's not. I've already got that planned. I'm like,
has he?
I thought, I've never, ever had anything for Mother's Day.
Well, that's the same in my house. Like, my kids don't bother with me. So what's he got him?
No idea.
I'm intrigued.
Don't get your hopes up.
No, I've met Niall. It's fine.
Yeah. But it just
the fact that he's even thought about it is like, wow.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. No, Father's Day we're going to be. My brother's had an operation the other day, so he said he might come. But I've said,
you okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Oopsie.
Should I have texted? Should I have checked up on it?
Nah.
I'm
Someone
not,
would have told you if he wasn't. So, no news is good news and all that.
I'm not a doctor. No, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. He's got his little nurse kid looking after him.
Ah.
So she's enough to drive you mad. He's probably locked himself in the cupboard so she can't get to him. No, she's really funny. So we've got a very glamorous weekend. We've got runs to the tip. We're emptying the loft, and we're sanding down all the roof things.
Trusses.
No, not trusses. You don't sand trusses down.
Oh, the
fascias.
Yeah.
That's it. Sanding the fascias down.
Well, you said you were going in the loft, so I thought you meant you were doing something
yeah,
like you were going to protect the ones in the loft.
No, I'd gone off that.
Oh, okay.
I mean the loft of the garage. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about in my head. Yeah, so we're going to be really, really busy this weekend. And from now right up until...
So going in the loft in the garage isn't going to be triggering, right? You're not going to
find... fuck off. I'd not thought of anything like that.
Well, I was just asking. Like, you said you're going in the loft, and my head's going, oh dear, so much stuff that you're going to find that you forgot you got. Right. Oh, fucking hell.
So this weekend, we're not doing the loft out. I will find another job.
Yeah, like...
Never thought of that.
Really?
Never thought of all this.
That's the first thing I thought was like, oh shit.
God, yeah.
It made my heart stop.
Boxes and boxes of Lego and all the memorabilia from school.
Baby stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing the loft. No, we'll just
it made my heart stop. I felt physically sick when you said.
Never thought of that.
Whew. I thought that's a bit brave, especially when you've got so much going on anyway. And there's me, I'm worried you're doing too much. And there's you two, I'm just going to empty the loft on top of it all. Fuck you now.
All right, the loft's not getting emptied. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, I'd really rather you didn't do that now. It's not the right time of year.
It is if you want to move house.
Well, yeah. And I'll tell you what, it is if you just want to get it all over and done with in one fucking go. I mean...
Yeah, but you don't do it the week before your anniversary.
No, and when you've got so much other stuff going on too. No, you don't.
Yeah. Right, I'll find another job and we'll find something. That is not an issue.
Yeah, that doesn't tip the scales in favour of your balance,
Okay. All right.
Yeah, go and find some painting.
Nothing left to paint other than the fascias, and they're the last things that I've left.
Have you painted your kitchen?
No, I haven't.
Paint your kitchen.
Yeah, but we need a vote on what colour I should paint the kitchen.
I thought you were just going for the similar colour than what it is.
I just thought it was too much. All blue.
It's that colour anyway.
No, because the other units, if we keep the island blue, and then the other units, keep them grey. Redo them in grey, in the same colour. Or should I just do it all blue? I just thought it might be a little bit too personal. I know this isn't about grief, but it just shows how you change. Because I would never, ever doubt myself. That kitchen would be painted by now. It will be sanded down and painted. It's been, over the last 15 years that we've been here, it's probably been 5 different colours, right? And I bought my paint. I've painted the stools, the breakfast stools, and one end panel, and thought, oh, don't know if I like that. And it is the original paint that when I first did my kitchen, and everybody loved it, and it was that colour for about 5 years, and I just changed it because I wanted to change, because that's what I do. And any colour that I've done since, that first original colour, I've never liked much. It's been all right. So I thought, right, well, I know I like that colour. I'll go back to it. And now I'm thinking, I don't know whether I like it. That is not me. That kitchen would be done and dusted in a week. Every night, come home from work, and I'd do about 4 or 5 cupboards.
Do you know, it's funny you should say that, because I think I said 2 episodes ago, I don't know, about us having the argument about trying to do up the room downstairs. And ordinarily I have a vision and I just fucking execute it, right?
Yes.
And I had this vision, and then like you, put it all in there and I was like, oh God, no. And then I had this complete meltdown, and for 10 days, I mean, Simon said to me, I'm actually really worried about you. I've never seen you this indecisive. Like, you know, this is not you. I actually don't know what to do, because you normally just tell me what's happening and you can't think. And I was like, I really can't. And after 10 days, I finally decided, and I've ended up deciding to do exactly what I wanted to do on day one. But why the fuck did it take me 10 days to go around the houses? And all I kept saying was, I'm never like this.
No.
I never struggle to make a decision. Like, normally, especially with interior stuff, design stuff, like I do in my own house. You know, my house is all very much my own style, but I know what I like.
Yeah.
And I know what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really struggled. And it's just funny that you should say that, because genuinely that's gone on in here too. What I just don't know. So it's obviously got to be linked with the whole grief thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if anybody else has had that.
But I don't understand why.
No.
It's funny that, isn't it?
We know we change. We acknowledge that we change as people, but the colour of paint shouldn't change.
Yeah, exactly. Or the ability to make a set decision.
Yeah.
You know, like to have this vision and then execute it and carry it all the way through. Like, that's something that you and I were both very capable of being able to do. You know, project management, very, very capable at it.
I mean, people would.
Yeah, I can't now.
I'd have friends that would ring me and say, oh, I've got such a paint from Farrow and Ball. What colour will go with it? I've got such thing. And I go, oh, put such thing with that and do this, and then put hints of whatever. And they go, all right, cheers. Right. I even know all the colour names on the Farrow and Ball card. Right. How sad is that? And now I'm like, I can't even pick one colour.
Yeah.
And to pick something to go with it is totally out of it.
Yeah. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, it's weird. Huh. I'm glad you've got it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, it was Simon that was most like, this is just not you.
Yeah, because Rob keeps saying, why don't you finish the kitchen?
Yeah.
And it's only the fact that the samples of the paint are so bloody expensive that I just can't make me. I thought, I'm not going buying more samples of paint.
No. Funny, isn't it?
Because even when I put them on, I won't know whether I like it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going to overwhelm yourself with too many colours.
About 5 stripes on a cupboard already, and I don't like any of them.
But when I came to yours about 8 weeks ago, you told me which one you'd chosen then.
Oh, I paid for it. It was 80 quid for a tin.
Yeah.
So something's got to be in that colour somewhere.
I was going to say, so what's happened since then? Like, I honestly expected it to be done and dusted by the end of that week.
Yeah,
and
it would have been. That's what I mean. It would have been done. Now,
Weird.
I've done everything else. I've been through every single cupboard in the entire house. And I've done like 5 loads to the tip.
Do you know, we've done that too.
Have you?
Yeah, every single cupboard drawer has been emptied. We've probably done 15 tip runs.
Yeah.
In the last few weeks. What's that all about?
Yeah, and we come to you and you got rid of half your shit was put in our car. Rob's going, I'll have that. What do you want that for, Rob? Yeah, they're throwing it out. Yeah, I know. What do you want it for?
Simon, you can put a roof box on your
A bloody roof box. I like my roof box. I want, why have you got a roof box? Yeah, Simon's give it me. Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, because it's faded and it's got no fucking brackets. So I think Simon and Rob went outside and made some brackets for it to fit your roof bars.
So
I was like, oh, do they really need that? Like, it's fine by me. Keep going. Yeah. There was loads of other stuff. I was like, take that with you as well.
And then we've got the big, massive demi-johns. They must be that big. Yeah. So we'll have 2 of them. So we're making a light out of them like you've made yours.
Yeah.
So we decided to put fairy lights in them.
Nice.
So we was going to take 2 to Spain. And I went, but why don't we have some here as well? So we need another 2 off you of them.
Have as many as you like.
Well, we might need 3 because there's one on the deck, right?
Yeah.
Next to the barbecue, and the barbecue's got a cover on and it's windy and it keeps doing that. And I went, that is going to smash. And 5 times I've said now, do you think you should go move that? Because that demijohn is going to smash and there'll be glass everywhere. Yeah. So I'm hoping there's like a force 10 gale tonight just to prove me right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's us moaning for another week.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we've not really talked about anything new this week, but it's weird. It's a weird time, isn't it?
It's a very weird time, and I think it's like a calm before the storm. You've had your storm of the actual anniversary, and now I'm coming up to mine, and I think, I'll just be glad when June's over.
Yeah.
Really will. I know you shouldn't wish your life away, but I just think it would be a little...
I do wish my life away. That's awful, isn't it? As much as I've just sat here and said I'm really trying to live in the moment, I do still wish my life away. And I'm not going to discuss it because, we're an hour into this podcast already, but I still do that whole what is the point of life?
Oh, that's a nice way to end it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will you still be here next week? Give us a spoiler.
Oh, yeah. That's a cliffhanger. What is the EastEnders sing? Do.
With a head on it, you'll have to do some sort of special effect now.
So, yeah.
Thousands of pounds you spent in Manchester 20 years ago. You'll have to demonstrate it for us. We need proof of your ability. Yeah.
Oh dear.
No, I think this proves that talking about grief can help.
Yeah.
Because it just does.
Yeah, and we've said it time and time again, get yourself a grief friend.
Yeah.
Because no one gets
grief friends, they've got us.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, to talk about it too, because nobody gets it like somebody that knows it, right?
Yeah, and just talking about that, our grief friends, we're still waiting for an invite to California. Just letting you know, Carol. We'll bring the tea. And do you know how difficult it is to send tea and biscuits to America? Because we wanted to send some to our friends there, and
yeah.
Oh my God, the customs forms and everything. Just thought, you know what, sod it. Just like, but the thought was there, wasn't it?
It was. We even planned what biscuits we were going to send.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't just plan them, I bloody ate them. I had to go make 4 cups of tea just to finish the 1 pack of hobnobs off. And then the tea was a very fancy tea from Liberty's. It's only because it was a gift.
You did get it posh, didn't you?
No, somebody bought me.
All right.
It had a really posh bag. I thought, that's too nice for me. That I like Morrison's Red Label.
I drink Red Bush. Don't drink normal tea.
I know.
Funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our nice thought, wasn't it, to send the ladies
have
their own group tea and biscuits. So just invite us to California and we'll bring them with us.
Yeah.
Right. That's us for this week.
It is.
I'll come back next week. Oh, I just realised it'll be the date then, won't it?
No, you'll still have another week.
Will I? All right, okay.
Next week, well, we go this time next week, it will be the 19th. So then it will be still another week.
Right. Well, my not knowing dates is going to come into play. I'm going to make it work that way.
Yeah. It will just be what it will be. Yeah. And the reality is, it's just another fucking day.
Of course it is. It is just another day. I don't miss her anymore on that day.
No.
Because she shouldn't be where she is. She should be here with her mum and her family. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Exactly that. Right.
So, thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with us. Try and put a thumbs up. Send us comments. subscribe and all that. We always forget to say that. We're so unprofessional.
I know, right?
You're more interested in biscuits. Let's get it right. We're being honest. Got carrot cake for supper.
Have you?
Yeah, because of that shit horrible chicken I got from Morrison's. I went and bought myself a carrot cake on the way home. I deserve a reward for putting up with that.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
So why not? Go and enjoy it.
I will. So grab yourself a cuppa.
Yeah. Find a comfortable spot.
And we'll journey through grief together. Thank you.